Stage 12 of the Dakar, KTM jockeying for position, failing to stop the leader. Sykes' BMW just too fast on the straight run home. His lead increases. Are getting nasty in the cars. Prieto and Schlesser clash en route. And Kleinschmidt has a nightmare, falling further behind. Well, we're back on course from Timbuktu to Neymar. A trial, certainly. 548-kilometre special. And we were on board with Jean Brucy and the BMW. He says, not a good form today. My eyes are running. My nose is running. I've got the shivers. Says he doesn't know whether he's got a cold or whether he's suffering from stress. He says when he stands, he's in all sorts of pain. And of course you have to stand up all day. He says he has to hold the bike with his knees. Now the small of his back starts to act like a cantilever, he says. You've got to be very, very fit to do this sort of thing. He says when they arrive, there are blisters on the hands and the inside of the knees. And the shoulders ache like crazy. And I can tell you, these boys have got the firmest handshake of all. Holding on to that beast takes all the strength a man can have. Yeah, when he gets in, all sorts of aches and pains. That's where the physio begins. And they need it.
You can repair?
No, I can't repair now, but I will repair tonight. I will open it tonight and look what's going on here, but because it's very strange. It's the first time I saw a brand new shock screw. Can't get out. We tried already with a car, pull it with a rope. We can't get it out.
It's a very hard stage?
No, the stage is not that hard. It's only the shock that gives me trouble. I enjoy this rough, but I enjoy it. Better than a fast stuff.
Vickers van der Venter on the quad, a man determined to reach the end at whatever cost, even if it's on 3 wheels. He's still in the rally. And so is everybody else. It was out of Mali and into Mauritania. And more help for everyone. Now, one of the most beautiful destinations on this year's Dakar is the village of Tichit, gradually being lost to the Sahara. Now, you can't see much of it today, so let's take a helicopter ride and find out exactly what it's like. Come on. Okay, let's go. Yes, the sands of time have taken their toll on the people of Tichit. The encroaching desert has actually effectively reduced the population from around 5,000 at its height to now just 250. Well, that population will double tonight with the arrival of all the competitors. It's a 495-kilometre special today, and indeed the winds that blew the desert towards this town causing problems again. Yes, the sands have been covering the tracks. It's navigation difficulties for one and all. As usual, the Dakar providing a very tough day indeed. And so what about today's stage? Still on course, thank goodness, 490 kilometre special from Neymar to Tichit. Well, it has to be said, that strategy failed to materialise on this day. Alfie Cox admitted to navigation problems. He's one of the fastest riders here. Now they say if his navigation was better, he'd be at the top of the pile. Cox determined to do well today. He had to start first after winning yesterday. And he didn't like it. He was setting the groove for others to follow, and they were to take advantage. His job, of course, and that of the rest of his team, was supposed to be to get as big a gap on sight, the leader, as possible. Alfie stuck in the soft stuff. Others, well, they were avoiding trouble by just staying together.
Station was quite a big problem, and it was not possible to go very fast because the big stones, and a little bit dangerous today for high speed. Only the last 50 kilometers was nice and fast. But once the five of us had got together this morning, it was basically just try and find the way, and then coming home now. For me to try and come in front, I would have made no position, so I think hopefully I finish 5th today, and that's what happens when you start in front. But it's been a good day. Not as hard as what they said last night. You know, last night at the briefing, they scared everybody. Everybody was frightened, thinking today is going to be a big day. And really, it's not a big day.
And indeed, you can see the results of his toil. Well, what about the cars? Well, some said today was a turning point in the Dakar. Hubert Oriol, finest spot in the house, waiting for them to pass. Stunning scenery today. The high winds easing, thankfully, for this a crucial moment of the day. Schlesser and Prieto blushing, I can tell you, after this one. Coming together in no uncertain terms at that point. Schlesser had to stop. Prieto checking he was okay, but it was a bit bumpy. Well, Prieto went on, but later it was to get stuck himself, and indeed only to finish 4th on the day. Something of a surprise, 11 minutes and 30 seconds off the pace. Camel grass was the problem. Soft dunes held together by this stuff. He was stuck. Well, Schlesser was delayed by 3 minutes, and the anger perhaps of the incident drove him on. Prieto, despite escaping apparently unscathed from the accident, had his troubles in the soft stuff. Yeah, the damage to the Schlesser-mobile was on the inflation system on the wheels. Well, once he was going again and knew that the car was still sound, he really, really did go for it. In his mind, he was playing catch-up, and he was determined to win. Well, problems aplenty for all and sundry. Schlesser stuck again. Shinazuka taking his chance at this moment. It was a day of stops and starts. But when Schlesser finally came home, it was for victory. 7 hours, 9 minutes and 23 seconds. He made it, come from behind and taken the day. And of course, increasing his lead overall.
Ça, rien.
Well, displaying the damage
Ça va?
after the accident
Je vous ai mis un peu.
and speaking to Ulrich Bremer. His Prieto and me came
On était
together.
hors piste, on cherchait un petit peu, on avait
Then he goes on to say he was looking at his GPS machine at the 340 kilometre mark.
Et lui, il devait
Prieto was busy watching his co-driver. We didn't see each other. He said it was simply nobody's fault.
Pour casser ça et le côté, il nous a arraché le
Momentarily,
gonflage.
we just
Et puis qu'on s'est
were
retrouvé dans le sable et
distracted.
dans les dunes avec le système de gonflage.
And on
Sans le
those
système de gonflage, quoi.
dunes later,
Jusqu'à présent,
he saw
là, c'est
Prieto
tout du bénéf
and he
pour
was
l'instant,
stuck.
depuis 6 minutes.
Philippe Moret, co-driver of Schlesser, said all the benefits are ours, he said. We're a few minutes ahead now.
On peut
And
pas
he
prendre
thinks
trop de risques
perhaps
en
this
allant
could
vite.
well be a
Donc,
turning
on
point
essaie
in the
de
race.
garder un peu
They
le
saw
même rythme que
Prieto
lui,
stuck in
et
the sand.
puis, quand on l'a vu poser,
At
là,
this
on a mis
point,
un petit peu
they're
de gaz
just
pour
waiting for him to
justement
come home.
creuser un écart qu'on n'arrive pas à creuser depuis le début de la course.
Oh, when Prieto did arrive, he was not very happy. What do you mean there's no problem, he says? It was his fault. He hit me.
No, pero qué tontería, de mano ni que leches.
Pero
si ha sido
he
el
did
que me han
nothing wrong,
vestido.
and Schlesser drifted.
Bueno, si yo estoy por la derecha y gira y me embiste.
Not happy. Well, thankfully, they were to make up. A handshake sealed it. Yes, well, in the end, I got stuck in the sand. After the crash, I attacked, and that was it. After being stuck, there's no way I could catch up.
Plantaos de morro, no mira el morro, el bollo que tiene el morro.
Fast in the sand.
Plantaos de morro,
And
pero
that
de
was
morro.
the real
para el
reason
coche. Ha habido momentos
of today's trouble.
que
The
he
crash,
pensado que caía para
he
otro
said,
lado.
wasn't really responsible. Well, big trouble today for Jutta Kleinschmidt. Puncture problems once again. 5 in all. A desperate day. And it wasn't just punctures as well. She also suffered a broken wheel and wasn't carrying a spare. Had to wait for Fontenay to come along.
René Reifen gegeben, weil sonst wären wir überhaupt nicht
Yes,
hier.
5 punctures in that broken wheel. She said I was so happy to see Fontenay. He gave us one of his spares and we were able to continue. She says, but just happy to arrive in the end. She says they thought they were completely out of it.
Also bestimmt 5-mal angehalten, raus.
If Fontenay hadn't been around, they wouldn't have been here.
Und naja,
So Kleinschmidt, 7th place on the day, losing out another 3/4 of an hour. That's the outcome. 1.5 hours off the pace.
Le quad roule doucement aussi, mais il ne nous entend pas.
Better day for
klaxonner.
Shinazuka. Coming home third, 4th behind Kleinschmidt. But it looks like a 2-horse race now. Schlesser and Prieto on top.
Ça, il nous a entendu. Wed.
Yes, a day of toil over those 490 kilometres. Beautiful destination nonetheless to cheer them. Not that they were busy looking at the scenery at all. Jose Maria Serbia making a 1-2 for the Schlesser buggies. They really are perfect on this terrain. Well, it was mix and match time as the bikes and cars ended up covering the same ground. And direction problems once again. Which direction, he says. And off they go. After help from the marshals. So onwards to Tichit, still in Mauritania. Through the Elephants Pass. And another quiet night, thankfully, under the stars ahead. Well, Stefan Peder Hansel won it 6 times on 2 wheels, having a good deal more trouble today with his new truck. think this Dakar has shown that help is often at hand, thankfully. So, stage 12 completed. These are the results and how they stand in the Dakar. And so what about the big boys? Cracked screens, all sorts of stone problems. They just keep ploughing on. Moskovsky in the Kamaz. On board the Tatra. Lopre. Mickey Biazion still in the frame in fifth. But it's all about Kamaz, Tatras and Hinos up front. And it's all about brute force on course. And so what's in store for us on stage 13? A special of 579 kilometers in all. We're going from Tichit back to Attar, where we visited earlier in the Dakar. We'll be there, so will all and sundry. We hope you can join us.